guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a story time, kind of highly anticipated, I think, how I met my husband and how we ended up married this summer. I'm gonna get ready as I go, telling you guys here and there what I use. I did my brows off a camera because I was just having a really bad brow day. Like, you know when your bad brow comes out better than your natural good brow? You know that bitch always comes through and then your bad brow comes through, not your good one. It's one of those days. Okay, so on to the story. Let's start on how I actually met my husband. So I'm gonna kind of jump everywhere in regards of how the story goes. I will try to keep like a timeline, but if I jump here and there, please forgive me. So I like met my husband, not really met, but knew of my husband through one of my best friends, Jason, who is also in the military. As some of you may or may not know, my husband's in the military, he's in the army. Would be talking to Jason, like FaceTiming, whatever, and my husband would come in and it'd be like a hey type of situation, acquaintanceship. And actually I didn't like him. Like when I first met him, I thought he was a huge dick and full of himself. Just because it was always just a hey, like he never put the effort in to conversate with me. Like he'd just go in and to Jason's room and just talk to Jason, and I'd be like, okay, like what about me? Or if anything, he blessed me with a hey. But yeah, that's kind of funny to think of, that I didn't like him. I thought he was mean, I thought he was a dick, and he was pretentious and all that good stuff. I started kind of know of him, I wanted to say like maybe a couple of years ago actually, and we were just kind of exposed to each other here and there. Nothing, like I said, he never made an effort to conversate with me, so that's why I didn't like him. But fast forward to the beginning of this year. I don't know how it happened, when it happened, or why it happened, but oh, there's actually this one time where my husband got drunk and went into Jason's room while we're FaceTiming and started yelling. I was like, I want a Latina. Jason hugged me up with a Latina, freaking his white ass. And I was just like laughing, and I was like, Jason, like tell him I'm right here. And Jason's like, you're dumb, and we kind of just laughed it off, you know. And then somehow the topic was brought up again. I'll admit I was the one that was like, hey, what's up with your friend McCracken? Because that's his last name and that's all I knew him by. He's like, shut up, you're dumb, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I'm serious. Like, he cute, you know? And then Jason was like, oh, like he's single? Hit him up. And I was like, no, you know, have him hit me up. You know how that goes. And so we eventually, time passed, and then we fast forward to like the beginning of this year, like the end of March, maybe the beginning of April, and we end up finally getting each other's information, and he ends up messaging me through Snapchat. It was just like a hey, like nothing crazy. It was like simple conversation. We conversated, and then I was like, okay, this guy's like not that into me, you know. My ass jumping to conclusions. I was like, you know what, I'll just keep it as friends. He seems like a cool guy. I'm gonna friend zone him, basically, was the idea, just because I didn't think he was that into me. But anyways, so we ended up talking, and it ended up becoming like a day after day after day situation. But our timing couldn't have been any worse, because as soon as we started talking, they were on their way, well, not on their way, but they're about to leave for training, so we couldn't talk as much, but we made it work. And so we talked and talked, and then we were actually able to FaceTime the night before they left, like officially left. So we talked there, and it was like the first time really FaceTiming each other. And all that good stuff. So he got through training, and then he brings up the idea of flying me out, and I was like, and he's like, oh yeah, like, would you be down to fly to Washington and we can hang out? I have a 4-day weekend, we can hang out. And I was like, I'm down. And then, oh my god, thinking about that, like, that was kind of like impulsive and ballsy. Like, I don't know how I did that. Like, I was a bad bitch to do that. But anyways, and sure enough, flew out to Washington to meet him, which is crazy. Like, if I hadn't seen fucking Taken, you know, you never fucking know. So we end up meeting each other. Everything's great. Like, everything, mind you, this was the beginning of June. We hung out, you know, had dinner, all that good stuff. So then I fly back, and then everything's just like gets better and better and better. Like, it was just so great after good after good after good. So then I end up flying out, going back, because I obviously had my whole life, college, all that good stuff, back in California. We're in the beginning of June-ish. So then our relationship continues. Mind you, within this time, he's not seeing anyone else. I'm not seeing anyone else. And then we talked about me going to the military ball with him, which was mid-June, I want to say. So that was the plan on seeing each other next for the ball. So then one thing leads to another, and I find myself flying out to Washington before the ball, the beginning of June. We just like really wanted to see each other again. We missed each other and all that stuff. And I end up flying out a month after I flew out. So the weekend of like the 4th, the 5th in June this time. I was back in California for literally 10 days. And then I flew back to Washington for the ball, which were the OG plans, right? Within this, we had talked about like this distance thing sucks, all this good stuff, and then how we really miss each other in between. I can't commit to moving because I have a life over here, you know, because I'm playing soccer. I have like commitments over here, you know what I mean? He's like, what if we get married? Because I told him, like, I'm not moving in with anyone until someone puts a ring on it, like, I'm saying. And then he's like, okay, what if we get married? I was like, he was like, I'm serious. And I was like, oh shit. Once you guys get to know him, I'm definitely gonna introduce him in my channel. He's like a dead serious type of guy. Like, when he's serious, he's serious. Like, you can just tell. So I knew he wasn't fucking around anymore. I was like, I'm down. But mind you, like, as like nonchalant as I'm making this seem, like, I was and am like super into him, like head over heels in love with him, and I knew what I was doing. He knew what he was doing. We talked about, not that I need to explain or justify my decisions to absolutely anyone, but we did talk everything through. So we figured it all out, and I was like, okay, sure. He's like, okay, I'm gonna propose to you when you come for the ball. Within that time, I was like, well, my ass has a flight back home the 25th of June. You have till then. And if we both mutually decide, hey, it's not what we want, then I'll fly back and we'll just keep doing this long distance thing, you know? He's like, okay. And then I came for the ball. We had a great time. It was super fun. Everyone looked so beautiful, and all the guys looked dapper and dressed up and nice. Time had passed between the 15th through the 22nd, because that was the day of the ball, and he still hadn't proposed. And I was like, he playing, he's not gonna propose. Like, I leave in 3 days. So then 23rd, we went to like the lake. We had a barbecue type of situation. And then the next day, the 24th, the day before my flight left, we came to his parents' house, and he proposed to me. Super, super intimately. It was so cute. It was super intimate and just us, which I love. Now, that's such a special and big moment in someone's life. But with that being said, I feel like that's a moment you're never ever gonna get back. Him making it just me and him made it that much more special to me. I don't know, I loved it. I loved it just being us. Like, it was crazy because I never really envisioned how my proposal was gonna go. Like, I didn't know if it was gonna be this big flashy thing in general or not, but I'm so like glad that it went the way it did. If that makes any sense. Engaged the 24th of June, so I didn't take that flight back home. We stayed engaged and we got married June 5th, just whenever we got around to it. If you have me on Instagram, I posted about it, and it was also intimate, just with like our closest of friends and the family he has here. And it was a wind of emotions, and oh my god, we literally like laughed through our whole ceremony. It was so funny. Like, everything was just so funny to us. Like it was just so surreal to me, and like I was like so happy. I felt so blessed. I don't know. I was just so giddy, I guess, like to actually be doing that with like the love of my life, you know? Like, it was crazy. And obviously, if time and money and all that good stuff allows, we want a ceremony, you know, like a wedding, and all that good stuff. But we'll see what the future holds. We never know. We're definitely ones to attest that, no, you don't know what's gonna happen, so we'll see what happens when it happens, type of thing. We're married, and then everything else kind of just carried on like it was carrying on before. Like, nothing really changed. Like, yeah, we're married and accustomed to living with each other and all that good stuff, you know, everything that comes in between. But like, I don't feel like there was a drastic change. I don't know if because we fit so well together, or I don't know what it was, but it just kind of felt like, okay, now we have the same last name. Now we have a certificate of marriage, and of course that he's my one and only that I'm gonna marry, and vice versa. But other than that, it kind of just felt like very natural. When you know, when you have the one, when you are with the right person, like, you know, like, nothing is forced. There's no extra effort and flashy things needed. And I am the firmest of believers is that follow your gut with that person. Like, take the chance on that person, because my like life changing 360 happened because I said yes to a risk. You know, I took that risk, and what if I think about it, like, if I hadn't done that, like, I would have missed out on him. I would have missed out on all the happiness and like joy he brings me, you know, and our marriage and all that good stuff. We are here now. Now, what, 5 months in to our marriage. Everything is going great and dandy. He's a very understanding person. Like, he balances me out in every way, and I balance him out in every way. I think we are probably like the most perfect mix of what each other was missing, if that makes sense. I do want to take this moment to thank everyone who supported us through this crazy journey so far, because I know people had a lot to say negatively, I guess. And that's okay. I don't care. It doesn't faze me. It doesn't faze him. And that's the only people that matter. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for all the good wishes. And like I said, there was obviously people who had something negative to say, because I mean, what else are people gonna do with their lives other than let other people's lives consume their time. I feel like I just wish people would have as much effort into their own lives as what they do into others, and wishing others bad. Yeah, that's kind of summarized version of how I met my boo. For those of you asking when we're gonna have kids, I can assure you it's gonna happen, obviously, but I think we want to give each other maybe 2 or 3 more years of just being selfish and enjoying ourselves. Like, we have many vacations we want to take, many things we want to do as a young couple, and just enjoy ourselves before we commit ourselves to our kids and all that good stuff, you know, and everything that comes with it, because kids are time consuming. And really, if we're being real, once you have kids, it's a little harder to enjoy yourself as a couple without that constant thought and worry of your children. For you young moms that are doing it out there, killing the game, kudos to you. Keep on doing what you're doing. Don't let anyone phase you. So next year, actually, we plan on moving on base. So I will definitely film on that and that experience, and kind of just show you guys around the base and what it's like. And because it's a crazy experience. Like, if you are not exposed to the military or a military family, it's a whole different world. Like, the way they function and everything is just a whole different like dimension, because I obviously was never exposed to anything military other than like Jason, my best friend I mentioned. Actually, shout out to you, Jason, because if it wasn't for you, I would have never freaking found my husband. Like, that's kind of crazy. So you're the plug. Appreciate you. I definitely have plans to maybe even start vlogging. I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I'm like, oh my god, this is such a good idea, and then I don't have the balls for it. I think what will be awesome about having our own place too is having a spare room for me to devote to like just like makeup and shooting videos there. Okay, actually, let me give you guys a rundown of everything I've put on my face. Did my brows with the brow pencil from ColourPop, the Brow Boss, and then the Anastasia pomade. I cleaned it up with a ColourPop concealer. I set down some e.l.f. poreless primer and the Cover FX mattifying primer, and then I went in with my Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and then I just powdered, baked a little with my La Mercier, and then I bronzed with my Hoola Benefit bronzer. Oh, I'm using the Prism and Modern Renaissance from Anastasia. I don't want to do anything crazy. I'm just gonna keep it like this natural. And then what I am gonna do is pop in this like neon yellow in my inner corner. Just because I'm feeling it. Okay. Because I can really. And then we're gonna do that. See, this little adds a little pop to it. So I'm going to pop on mascara and some lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I popped on some lashes, mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and do my waterline really quickly. Going in with kind of like a burnt orange. Just because I can really, and I'm kind of into the no liner lately. I don't know, kind of just my new thing. I'm not really into doing big old liner at the moment. I'm just not really feeling it. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna intensify the inner corner, like the neon inner corner. Really quickly. I just think it's so cute how it gives you like the crazy color. You can see that. I am going to add highlight. I know it's a story time, but I did want to devote a little bit to the actual look. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and just let me know. Actually using the Amrezy Anastasia. I'm just gonna pop on some MAC Dazzle Gloss. And I always do chapstick and lip gloss. And I like to go in with my finger. Just even it out. Alrighty. So that is the completed look, guys. What do you think? That's about it for this video. I just wanted to thank you for sticking on in here with me as we are a work in progress. I hope you guys like that story time and now have a better background on how the hell I ended up married this summer. So yeah, that is it for this video. See you guys next time. Bye.